And hello, welcome to the Penta Bar. As you are accustomed, every Wednesday at noon, we can hear with a casual conversation live on the Penta Live with conversation that are around the technical part or more the soft skills, but destined to Pentalog community. And this time it's in English because we have a very special guest getting here live from Lyon, and I cannot wait to present her. With also a special subject very dear to my heart, which is managing a product or making a movie. Is this the same fight, and how is it different? And you'll see where that title comes from, because we'll be talking with Charline Robbe, working from the last 3 years with Pentalog, but having a background in computer graphics industry and working for Canal Plus, French TV channel, and working on their product management and a lot of visual effects over there in the background. So I can imagine a passion for the movies and a passion from product development in a creative manner. Just for the day, we'll focus on why and versus what we do in product management, then product vision versus custom products, then product team versus silo organization, and I cannot wait to share a bit on the organizational behavior there, roadmap versus planning and how is that different, and user impact versus velocity, very interesting and very tied up to the agile subjects we had until now. And a surprise, in the tech talk, we'll have how Pixar can help us solve product teams' problems. But I cannot I cannot hold you here for more time. I will invite soon enough Charline Robbe to envision us. Until Paul will help me with generic, please. So here we go again. Charline Robbe, welcome. How are you today? How is the weather in Lyon?
It's very good. I'm very happy to be here.
I'm very happy to be hearing yourself, and happy to be discussing on this very nice subject, which is product management. And I know that you're doing it in a very creative manner. But I do have this curiosity. How did you come up with the analogy with the product management and the movies?
Yeah, well, it's because about a little bit of my personal background, because I'm from a family where, well, everyone is working for the movie industry, because both of my parents are actors and actresses. My biggest sister is doing all the paintings for the movie scenes, and my little sister is actually working in a producing industry for movies and all kind of creative events. And I'm the only one being an engineer and working for computer and digital. So that, I think that's a bit why I see now in my job this very similar thing between the movie industry and the product management. And I'm happy to see them now and not being the only one quite apart from the family. So, yes.
I do believe that product management needed a bit of creativity, but engineer is good. We love engineers here at Pentalog. So, what you've got, I cannot wait to see your presentation. I know that you have prepared this presentation and it was present also in some conferences before, and I cannot wait to see what's the parallel between the two.
Okay, good. So shall I start?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So everyone can see my presentation. And I would like to begin with a trailer. It's actually a movie trailer, but it's for presenting the conference, because I'm not sure everyone has seen the trailer. So let me show you it again.
You should start your career on that, Charline. Acting would do very good to Pentalog.
Yes, and actually, when I first made this trailer, it was for, as you said, to explain this conference in a big conference in Lyon, and that's why you see me walking to the building where the actual conference was taking place. Is to create this idea of well, me coming to explain the whole idea of the movie, which in fact is the conference. But you will see what are all the elements about in this trailer, because I will talk about this in the presentation. So I hope you liked it. We had a great time making it with the whole team in Pentalog, and because we like telling stories, we like explaining the stories of our product, and that's exactly what I want to talk to you now. As an introduction, here is a picture of one specific movie. I don't know if you've seen that movie, Mihai. Do you recognize it? No?
Yeah, I'm pretty bad in remembering the movies. I've seen a lot of them, but I cannot wait to see what that's about. I don't recognize it by the picture.
It's actually from the movie Big Fish, a sort of movie. And why I choose this image is because in this movie, this guy is called Edwin Bloom. And in the movie, he said that a man tells his story so many times that he becomes the story, and the story lives on after him, and in that way, he becomes immortal. And this is exactly the story of this character, Bloom. He has passed his life telling stories, changing his life and into a very big adventure. And he has marked everyone he has come across with this idea of I'm just in a big adventure and story to everybody. And why I'm telling you that now, it's because we're all born storytellers, and you will see that this is really important for product management and product teams. Just to give you, if we go back through the history, we understand that here with these pictures, that stories that make us share knowledge and information since the very beginning of human history. And this is an example of the painting of the very first man. And what did they do with these paintings? Just they describe their day-to-day life and how they go for food, how they live with the animals and all together. And with these paintings, they just tell the story of their lives. So storytelling is really deeply anchored in our history and in human intelligence. And this is that can bring us together and drag us all on, well, the board of our lives. And I also have in mind a quote from a specific play that is rolling on actually now in France, which is called The History Bearer. And in this play, the main character at some time said that the one who knows better than anyone else to tell a story becomes the master. So we are born to tell stories. If we tell the stories well, we are in a way the master. And this is really important in a product team.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? In fact, it's because if you realize it, we have a specific brain, very complex, and now because we have multiple kind of mobile application, for example, or digital products, we can easily be not focused on the actual value proposition of the product or the actual goal of a product. And I don't know, Mihai, but for example, did you have, what is the last mobile application that you download from your mobile phone and you just didn't even use after that? Do you have some application in mind?
I think it's a trick count. It's a very expensive app that we are used during sailing, and we had that. I had a previous one, but it didn't quite stick with the people.
Okay. And so what happened is sometimes you download this one, and you realize that, well, at the first seconds when you open the app, you don't understand quite easily what is the global sense, what you need to do, what it's all about. And usually what you do is, okay, so let's keep it. I won't use it anymore. So, and even worse, you can completely delete it from your phone because you have too much application. So what I'm trying to tell you is that if we don't give the sense and the idea of the story at the very first stage of the usability moment of your product, the time where your users will come into your product and use it, there is a very big risk to lose everybody. And I've seen a specific number, statistics coming from a survey in a few months ago, where they said that for millennials, I think it's 21% of the millennials that can delete an application just by looking at the logo of the mobile icon. So if they don't like the icon of the mobile app, they just don't go through the complete experience then in the mobile application. 21%.
21%. Wow, that's a big number.
That's huge. So it means that the story begins with the mobile icon of the application, in a way. So all of that to say that you have to be very impactful to have this capacity of telling a story very shortly, the story of your product, to make people engage and to make people aware and to make people want to use your product.
Mm-hmm. That's brilliant. Just before going forward, I just want to extend, because we're being live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, and just open the stage for everybody if they have questions. That was pretty much the introduction of it. But as you are going forward, if you have curiosities, we can take advantage of the time that we have with Charline and really go deeper into the philosophy of product management.
Yeah, sure. Don't hesitate.
Yeah.
And if we go back to the idea of the movies, so what does the movie industry use to grab the audience and to make this sense of what they want to talk about? They are using stories. The global, the aim of a movie is to tell a story, because a story can simplify a lot of things. A story can generate emotions, and a story can make it easier to remember the whole thing instead of explaining every details, for example. So that's why they are using trailers. That's why they are using just a few description of a movie to grab the audience and to make people want to see the movie at the end. And product management is really telling story to sales team, to the product team, to the development team, to your users. Everyone's around a product needs to have this story in mind. And by the way, I don't know if you've noticed, but what is the name of the smallest item in a backlog, in a product backlog? It's called a
story.
Yeah, user story.
I was actually intending to put you the questions. If I mean, on one side we have the level of the stories that when we present the product and how is, and then we have the breakdown per user stories in agile methodology. And I was really wondering if you refer to the two of them.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, you have the global story, which is the vision of your product, the main value proposition of the product, and then how you describe in all the details. It goes through the user stories for every features and etc. But I will show you. I have an example of how you construct the story of a movie and how it can be seen with the actual story of your product. Let's go through it just after that. I have an example also to do this similarity with the movie industry and product management. In movie industry, you're working with the crew, and in a crew there is a lot of people working on different kind of jobs. You have the actors, you have the one taking the camera, you are the director, you are the one with the lights, with the sounds. Everyone has their expertise, but they are all working together at the same time on a stage to make a movie. And in product management is exactly the same. We have this whole disciplines on technology, UX, UI, business, marketing. It can be sales also. There is this illustration that you can see everywhere on Google, but to explain the product management is really centered into these three main topics. But for me, it's even more. You can have all kind of things around this the product industry. And it's cool to see this parallel between the movie crew and project team, in fact.
It's kind of the ikigai of product management.
Yeah.
The sweet spot there.
Yes. Another similarity is when you're creating a movie, what you want to do is to generate emotions to your audience. You want them to laugh, you want them to cry, you want them to be frightened, or even if there are no reaction, it's also an emotion. So product management is also that. It's to be user-centric and to create an emotion to your target user. You want to solve a problem, you want to add a new needs, you want to produce something that everyone will use every day and that will change people's life. So it's the same thing. And when you're writing a script and you're teasing your story about your movie, as I said, it's really similar to writing the story of your product and creating your product. Because the product is the story where you users are the hero, in fact. They are the new hero of this new story about how they will, I don't know, if we take like Uber, it's like how you can go home easily and how you think this application to be, have this new experience of transportation with a cab. And that's the 5 steps I was talking about, Mihai, a few moments ago. So here is the 5 steps to write a story from the movie industry. I'm sure you know some of them, but let me explain each of the steps, because it's from very tiny explanation to very specified step. The first one, the pitch, is like just the sentence to to make people want to see the movie. It's the big phrase, the big sentence, the keywords of your movie. The synopsis is more something that you see before going to a movie, so you have the global idea of if it's an action movie or a drama, the main characters and the main topic of the movie. But you don't have the final solution. You don't know who will die or if everyone will survive or what will be the end of the movie. That's the main thing. You don't want to reveal the end before that the people will see the movie. So that's the synopsis. Then you have this step, which is called the step outline. In fact, it's just the description of every scene. And for each scene, you have the global context, where if it's where it is in which environment, which character would be there, and the global description of the scene. Just a few paragraphs to describe the scene. And to go deeply into details about this step outline, you have the storyboard. Storyboard, in fact, is the description picture by picture of each scene. And using these old pictures, you can have idea of what are the different actions, what details you have between every sequence. But you don't have something that is really important in a movie. It's the dialogue. And that's it all in a script. So in the script, you add the dialogue between every characters. So using the storyboard and the script, you have pretty much everything to conduct a movie and to see the entire story of the movie.
Is it the script, the dialogue with the users is kind of the touch points that they will have with the product?
Kind of.
Kind of, okay.
Look at this. Now you see, yes, which step, how we can see what it corresponds to in the product management discipline. For me, this idea of the pitch, it's the product vision. So the why of your product, how you will make sense to everyone. So this is, what you want to do, what you want to solve, what you want to, how you, why you wake up in the morning to help people. The second step is the roadmap. So it gives global information of where you want to go, but it doesn't give the all details of what will be the actual solution in terms of features. It's just the global objectives, the list of all the objectives of the product. Then the idea of the sequence of every scene is kind of the backlogs with all the epics. When you go through the storyboard, it's the list of the features, it's what's content in the sprint, in the agile sprint, because you have all the details of what we want to deliver at the end of the sprint. So with this idea of the detailed features and how we describe every features in details, we are using the user stories. So you see, it can be really seen with this parallel. And sometimes even when I'm doing some workshop with the team to describe new features, we're actually doing storyboards, but with the product, trying to explain what each feature will be used by the user. So for example, it's a mobile application in a specific context, and we're using this storyboard to explain at each time what will happen. And in that way, for the design to be able to fit exactly with the usability context of that specific feature. So it's actually a good thing to see this parallel, because you can use the way you create the movie to explain every stage of your product. Storyboards, this product vision using a big poster. It also can be done as an exercise to put the vision into one big poster. It's a way to explain your product as a movie. And one last thing about the parallel is that like writing a story that we want to rewrite, because, for example, I don't know, if you think at the Marvel movies, sometimes according to what the audience like or not, from a Marvel to another, they change little things, they change some characters, they manage to adapt also according to the audience that is growing up. And the product and product management is exactly that, to test and learn at each stage. For example, you've launched an MVP. What happened with the next version of your product? But you're using the MVP, you're trying the MVP, you're realizing that some features are working, some are not, and you change a little bit. And it's okay to change. It's okay to review your product vision if somehow the global context has changed, and even if your users are not using the product as you thought they would. So it's really important to have this in mind. It's okay to change. It's okay to delete something in the product because that's all about.
Mm-hmm.
You agree with that?
I don't know what to say yet. It's I have these two lines. It's either you start from a blank page or you construct on something, but a certain level of reprojecting is needed.
But even if it's well, a from scratch product, of course you have to make hypotheses at the beginning and to test something. So a list of first features, but then it becomes a first product. So this first product, you can use the data you will have and collect it from this product and how you see people using it to adapt. So even if it's a new, well, an existing product that you want to change, it's all about this mindset of, I'm not sure I know everything anytime. I need to test everything. I won't be sure 100%. Even if I do a lot of tests, even if I've interviewed like hundreds and thousands of people or my actual clients, you cannot be sure 100%. So it always needs to be reviewed and to make this test and learning.
Yeah, iterations. Yeah.
So we've seen this parallel between the movies and product management. And to go deeply into that, I would like to go through the basics of the product management. So you've seen, we've talked about that illustration, which is a mix of several disciplines, UX, technology, and business, which are the main topics. But I want you to see it as like this, with these three main topics, which is we have a team, we have the users, and we have the vision. For me, the really main focus we have to have if we're doing product management, it's okay, and it's surely something here like a whole discipline, but the focus is on what mindset we are on, and this is to make importance about the team, about the users, and about the vision. And why is that? Because if we go to this idea of the story, your product is the story about the mission of your team, what you're all doing all together every day, the vision you wish to carry, and the experience you offer to your users. So it's really the story about all these three. And that's the main focus. And if we go, if we remember the trailer, sorry, the title is still in French, but you remember is some screen from the trailer we've just seen at the beginning. We see these three topics. We have the vision, we have the hope, which is the user, we have the team, and they are all together to fight, well, for a big fight, which is this product management battlefield. So now I'm sure, Mihai, you want to know what the fight I'm talking about. What is the battlefield, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and then what's yeah, and I was trying to tie to the agile concepts that Pentalog is so keen of at moment. So what's the battlefield?
Yes, I will explain some specific topics during now, but in fact it's larger battlefield than what it seems now. But it's just that I realized that since I began to do this job, to work in product management, there is something I can see every day, and that's really common to every product team, every product guys, every people working in a team for making a product, is that product management is a job where you are constantly questioning and fighting against a lot of things. So good luck, everyone, because it's not an easy job and difficult to work in product teams nowadays. So I tried to explain it and to explain this fight into three big battles we have to fight every day. And here they are. So the first one is this fight against well, the product vision on one side and what I call the custom client features, or the vision of doing a product very specific for one client. And it's really relevant in, I don't know if in the audience, some people are working in SaaS products, but it's really relevant in that kind of industry for that kind of product, because you'll always turn apart between what is your vision, what you want to do, and some new ideas or new needs coming from one client and another one. So how do you do? So just to go back on what is product vision, Captain Mihai, what is product vision? Can you summarize?
I would let Jack Sparrow say what's the Captain Vision in his wacky way. I know that.
But he's looking through, well, the actual captain is looking through this, I don't know what the name in English, but the long... well,
yeah, telescope or something.
Yeah.
Or binocular, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But I do strongly believe in the, I mean, if you're concentrating on various features and any idea that the client might have, and not having in mind the main aim, which is the vision, what we are trying to achieve first with that product, it can go in all directions,
Exactly. That's exactly the main problem. And what's doing the captain here in this picture is looking to the direction to follow. And for me, for me and for a lot of people, product vision is really that, is a direction to follow, is where you want to go for your product. So in a way, it's the operational response to a company's business strategy. Because we have a very big objective for a company, for a product, for users, and where we want to go there and why. And that's why we have the why topic. The why you do the product, the why you are going to work every day, the why you will change users' life. That's your vision. Mm-hmm. And because why it's important, and as you said, in order not to go through different topics and to make different features that doesn't really make sense, it's having this product vision is producing meaning and giving sense to a whole team, makes people feel belonging to a product, belonging to a team working for that product, belonging to a big community of all the users of one product. So it's really important to know that product vision is not fake. It's really something that helps you guide everyone. And hopefully for us, the why and the product vision is not something that appears to you one morning, you wake up and you say, okay, that's good, I have my product vision now. No, it's not something that appears one shot. It's a global process of creation. And we have some elements to do that. We have some tools, we have some workflow to help you create a product vision. And it's really important to ask you if you have it, if you're working in a product team, and how you can construct it as a product team. So Frodo is asking you, Mihai, how do we do? How do we create our product vision? I can give you, three ideas, elements to create product vision. The first one is to use tools. I don't know if you've heard about business model Canva, product Canva, lean Canva, all that kind of canvas you can find on the web. They are very useful to help you ask you the good questions. It's just to make your ideas clear, to put them on the paper, and to make it more relevant, to be able to resume it with this idea of a product vision. The other things to help you create it is to use the data. As I said before, when we were talking about using an existing product or creating a new one, it's really important to use the data that you collect from the existing product you've launched, or that you can collect from your actual user. If you don't have any product at the beginning, and for example, in Pentalog Innovation Factory, we conduct a lot of workshops to really identify the needs from the users, to talk with the users, the future users of the product, of course. So we're organizing interviews, focus group, specific workshops where we try to generate ideas, but with the real people that will use the product tomorrow. And all of that is really important in the data, to have this both quantitative and qualitative, because they will help you to refine this idea of what is your value proposition and the vision you want to have for your product. And so the last thing, as I said, there is 3 points. The last one is this idea of testing and learning all the time. Because once you're creating your first product vision, for example, it will change in 1 year, in 2 years, maybe it will be different, and it's okay. But if you are not aware of testing and learning at all time, maybe you will pass through the moment that you need to change a little bit the vision, because well, the context has changed and your users want more or want something different. So all of this is really important. And
it's also about adoption, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. It's about adoption, because once you have this vision, of course, and that's the thing just after that, what happens when some specific demands arrive, when I have like a client asking for specific features that were not supposed to be in my vision of product vision. So there is 2 options. You can do like these 3 guys and just hide. So don't answer to your client request. Or you can try to manage with this request. And that's what you were saying, Mihai, is to seek for adoption. That's the first thing. Seek for adoption about the vision. And the other thing is to understand the needs and the why behind a specific request. Because I'm sure you already have that. Some people coming and asking, okay, I want this feature, for example, this specific button at this place to do that kind of action. So it's very specific and it's very detailed. And in fact, people are coming with solutions. But if you're trying to understand the why behind that solution, and there is actually an exercise that we call the 5 whys. So you ask why one first time, then the client is explaining to you why, and then you ask another time why, okay, and then why, and then why. If you go through 5 whys, normally at the end, from a specific request, you come with the problem that was just hide by this specific request. And that's what you want to have as product managers, as the product team, to understand what is the problem behind what the clients come to with this new solution. Because if you know the problem, then because you have the vision of your product, because you know where you want to go, and because you also found all the problems from every client you have, you will be able to find a solution with the team, which maybe is completely different from what the client said at first.
Exactly.
And that's really important, because you will find a solution which is not this button at that place to do that action, but something different, which fits also with your product vision. And that's the whole game, and what you need to fight for. To fight with this idea of a vision, so to understand the problem, and then to be able to fit with your vision. And the idea of adoption, yes, is really important, because the more the people adopt your vision, less you will have that kind of specific request. And adoption, for me, it's not only for your users, but it's for people who are working in the team. It's for salespeople who are selling the product. Everyone needs to have this vision and to to live with it, to fight for it, to be able to make the good decision. And I have an example of how I try to make people adopt a product vision from it was for a sales team. Mm-hmm. Just a little story. So I was working on a product for a big company in France. And we were asked, the product team, to present the product during a very big conference of all the sales of that company. And the sales were like, 300, I think. And during one day, every product team came to present their products. And when I had the agenda of the day, I realized that my team was supposed to present the product at 5 p.m. So at the very end of the complete demo day. So I was a little bit worried because I thought, okay, so we will be the last one. The whole 300 people, salespeople, will have the presentation all day. They won't be focused on our product, and that was a risk because we wanted them to adopt the product and to be able to sell it then. So we tried to think with the team of a different approach to present the product and to make the sales team adopt it. And I used this idea of movies, creation, plays, and telling stories. And we decided to make the demo in just 5 minutes by creating a little play of the actual the actual scenario of the product. So we were three really acting the scenario of the product using the mobile application in a fake scenario, but the real one that could be for the real users. And what happened is just that it lasts only 5 minutes, and all the sales after that, they clap. They said, wow, it was so cool. We have this story of your product. And then a few days after that, Jesus came to us and said, we like the story you talked about, and we want also to be part of the story. So it was really good for us to have this adoption. And we use this idea of telling a story to make people adopt. So once your vision is clear, if you are able to tell the story of the vision, it's the best way to go through the adoption, I think. Second fight. The second fight and battle is the roadmap against the planning. Why is that? First of all, just to remind to everyone, what is a roadmap? Because sometimes I've heard different things. We have different approach of what is supposed to be a roadmap. It's not a planning, so let's see the differences. Roadmap, it's not a planning with dates. So if you have any dates, fixed dates in your roadmap, it's not a roadmap, guys. The second point is roadmap is not a fixed engagement. It's not something that you will surely give or launch at a specific date. For me, it's if it's that kind of thing, it's more like a planning. And roadmap is not a list of features. Remember the 5 steps to create a movie and to create a story of your product? Roadmap is at the very beginning. It's the stage number 2. So it's not supposed to be the detailed list of features you will release at one time. Roadmap is really to focus on what your main objectives for a specific time. For example, on the first quarter of 2021, what will be the objectives you want your product to go through? And if you go through this idea of objectives, you will make all the team work to find solutions to go through these objectives. But without giving a list of features, it prevents to, stuck everyone to something that somehow we realize, because that's the main point of agility, we realize it's not possible to maintain in the time lapse, that it's too complicated to do that way, that we need to do in another way. So if we just skip the detailed features in the roadmap, we have this objective in mind, and we will find any kind of solutions to solve them and to go through these objectives. But we don't know the solution yet. And that's the main idea. We don't know the solution. We know where we want to go, what step we want to go through, but we don't have a very specific list of elements. So roadmap is more like a powerful communication tool. It's something to deliver a message, to really, to give elements for everyone around the product of where you want to go, what will be the main focus for every step, but not in detail.
Do you have any, and I may let you finish, but I'm very curious because it has agility embedded on the roadmap, being flexible and not being, fixed deadlines or solutions in themselves. If you have tools to work on the roadmaps.
Yeah. A very nice tool that I like is a product board. I don't know if you've heard about. On product board, you can create your own roadmap. So with defining the big objectives for a specific quarter of time, for example. You can also go through the details of IDs of features, and then it can be connected to a Jira, for example. And what's nice with product board, it's when you have this idea of, for example, a big topic you want to go through into your product, but you're not sure that everyone in the community, in the users, they would like it. You have a specific visibility of your roadmap, which can be public, and you make it public to everyone, and people can just add some likes and vote on the different ideas you have. And in that way, it can also help you to prioritize the elements of your roadmap. Because if you have, for example, a few ideas for the same kind of topics, you can have the community or your users access to this public roadmap on product board. They had some comments and just say, okay, I like this part, and just make these elements go on top of your prioritization list of roadmap. So I think it's a very cool tool, and it's interesting to use to have direct feedback from your user community. So yes, and the second point is roadmap is direction to follow. As I said, it really goes through explaining a little bit more your product vision. So the product vision is the direction, and the roadmap is kind of direction also. Sometimes I use this example, but do you know the Waze application? Yes. What's happening on Waze? You tell where you want to go.
Yeah.
But you don't have the itinerary, the where you pass through during the whole.
And it might be changing dynamically.
Exactly, each change. But you're sure that you will go from point A to point B, but you don't know where you go through, and maybe during the travel you will change. It will be that way, and then you go that way. But at the end, you are sure that you will arrive at point B. And that's exactly, for me, the idea of roadmap. We don't know what we put inside, but we know that we will go through point A to point B. And the whole idea is to be able to change what we put inside according to, I don't know, technical problems, new prioritization about specific items of design, or a specific business strategy rolling on. We can change. And that's why agility is also really important in that part, because that's the methods we use to be able to make these changes and be able to change each time that it's needed. Yes, and roadmap is the representation of our product vision, as I said. So what do you do somehow if you ask for planning? Because what I've realized, little story, but sometimes at one time, there is a customer relationship manager that comes to me with the detailed list of all the sprints for the next 6 months because he needed to just gives visibility to his clients. So he just produced a list of sprints of the whole sprint of the next 6 months. So I was shocked because, well, it's not how we work in Agile, and it's surely not how we work with the mindset of a product. And I realized that, okay, but the problem, why he did that, it's because he wanted to have visibility. And the main problem why people are asking for planning, it's because they need visibility. They need to know where we're going. So they need this idea of what is the point B, where we're actually going. So we have some tricks and tracks, tricks to give some idea of this visibility without giving an actual planning with dates. And for example, what I used a lot is to create this product roadmap committee with different people that will need to work around the product. For example, from the sales team, from the marketing team, maybe some people from the customer relationship management. And making this product roadmap committee monthly, it's a way to share the roadmap, to adjust the roadmap according also to their needs, to be able to say, okay, maybe the next objective of the next quarter will be a review. We need to make a review all together because you also have some needs from the marketing team. So how we can conduct all of that and make this big roadmap that can take in account every feedback from every kind of group discipline around the product, not only the user, that's what I'm saying. Also, so to share this roadmap to anticipate every needs, it's really important to share this roadmap to the users. And when I was talking about this tool, product board, it's really cool because it anticipates future demand from a specific user to have this specific feature at one time, because they will see on your public roadmap what you're rolling on, where you're working on what kind of focus you are on. And in that way, they just realize, oh, okay, that was my problem, in fact. So it will be solved somehow in a few months. I don't know, but it will be solved, and they're working on it. So, and I realized that there is also something we can take from the movie industry. When movie, not specifically movies, but when they are creating a TV series, for example, they are not working and shooting every episode of every of a complete series at the very first stage. They are passing through what we call the first episode, which is named the pilot. And what's happening with the pilot is that they are using it to, test the actual movie or the actual series to a public audience, to some producers, to some journalists. And what's happening once tested is they know how the people think about it, if they have to refine some elements. So actually they are buying, at the end, if they like the pilot, people are buying for first history, first story, first elements of the movie, and the TV series, but they're not buying for the complete series. They don't need to see every episode to buy it. And that's exactly the same. We need to give that kind of details at one stage. So the idea of the roadmap, the idea of the product vision, to make people buy it, but not telling all details of all the features. And the more we communicate, the more we give some example, I think the more we engage and the more people understand what is the focus and how we have to conduct the product, which is not with the planning.
Is the same engaging with engagement as with an MVP?
Exactly. MVP is but we are not sure where after that. And it's surely not with some specific dates, specific features for the next 3 years.
I do have some two questions on different paths, and if we can compare the professional users and the spectators.
If we compare the users and
the professional users and the spectators whenever using a product.
I'm not sure I understand well the question.
I think it's maybe a statement about having in mind the purposes to set. I'll let it land if Elena will want to clarify on that. And then from the beginning, we had who is deciding that story is well defined.
Good question. Well, in fact, as I said, we're not sure 100% if it's good, if it's not. I think as you have to test your story a lot of time, you have to test it one time as the pilot of your TV series. If you have this reaction of the audience, of first people, and you adapt a little bit, then you will create progressively a story that can be really settled and can represent exactly what the more precisely your product. But at the very stage, yeah, surely it will be something, well, you need to adjust a little bit the value proposition, the way you describe it. So who will tell that this is a good story? I think it's the reaction from your users. If you launch your MVP, it's the beginning of your story of your product. If the reactions of the users are good, if they are actually downloading the application, if they are using the main feature you've put in your product, I think it's a good way to tell you that your story is okay.
And then on LinkedIn, I have a very interesting point. It seems like we should design it seems like we design the need of the program, the product also in the customer's minds. So are we into designing the need also?
It's a good question, in fact, yes, because there is always this little fight between I have to be focused on what are the needs of the user at the beginning. That's the first thing you have as the data. So you need to focus on that kind of information to create your first product vision. Then you will have some people use your product, so you will have some feedbacks, and you will realize that maybe you need to adapt a little bit. And if you need to adapt a little bit, at that time, is it to completely fit with the need of your actual user? Or are you a little creating a new need, as you said? Because sometimes your vision don't fit with 100% of the user's needs, but they fit with like the majority. And for the other majority, well, not the majority, but for the other people, you need to make people, adapt this product vision. So it's not to address every need. It's more you specify the product vision with the majority of the needs. And then for the other one, it's to make them adopt, in fact, and create new needs for them. And that pass through the help of your early adopters, who will spread the word, who will help you diffuse this idea of the product vision, so that the people who are not using it that didn't have the need at the first stage, maybe they thought that, okay, that can be also a need for me. And after that also to maybe adjust a little bit the product to go through another target user and fit more with their needs. It's always this kind of job between I have my vision, I can go a step aside to fit someone's needs, but maybe also this other people's side can also fit with what I thought is the product vision for that time. It's always this duality in a way.
Can we summarize through the product team and versus silo organization? I'm trying to be mindful about the time of the people
yeah,
here.
Sure. I go it quite quickly. What I wanted to say between these two is that you have the product team and the silo organization. Silo organization is the organization you have historically in companies, marketing, technical, so everyone is very set apart. And what's important in making a product organization is taking all the elements of the product from these different departments into one team. So that's creating a product team. And what's important in that is I have in mind a quote from a computer scientist in the United States who says in 1967 that your organization, the way you are organized in a team, reflects into your product. And why is that important? Is that if now with Agile we realize that we need to focus on very small teams, autonomous teams, inside a very big product team, we have to really make sure that the way we split the different little teams don't make the product with nonsense. Because sometimes if we split and we cut at some place the different feature team, for example, in the product, it gives the impression that it's just a list of features in one application, you see. So it's really important to focus on, yes, we put everything from a product into one team, which is the big product team, but inside of that, where we are doing the agile teams, how we divide the work, it's really important. And to focus on that is to make sure everything is working well, to have this global context and engage the team into this vision. So as I said, to spread the word of the product vision and where we want to go to each team, so they can be and have this collective intelligence to create the best product. And it's summed up here with this graph coming from Spotify, where they say, according to the autonomy and the alignment of the team, what is the best way to make people work in smaller team for your product. And you see that if they have this complete autonomy, so you don't give them just the list of tasks very described and not making them as creative as they can to find a solution. And if you give them the real vision of the work, so if they have a vision and they have autonomy enough, they can find the best solutions for a specific problem. And we will conclude with the surprise, because you said at the beginning, we can take some elements for that from Pixar to solve problems in product teams, to make people really work together and to be part of the product. So it's not just to, well, I'm from a development team and I'm not working actually in the product vision and everything. But no, in fact, yes, you're part of the product also. So you can be part of the solving the problem and finding solutions. And Pixar, when they are making their movies, everyone can be part of that. And here are the few bullet points that resume that part from Pixar. It's from this book, which is called Creativity Inc., written by one of the founder of Pixar, Ed Catmull. And he said that you can read it, and really you can read the entire book because it's really interesting. There's no need. The environment of the team is really important to create creativity environment. They have to. They can communicate very easily, everyone, to be able to produce good solution. So there is no need to recreate silo into agile team. The designers and the developers need to work really closely together to communicate, to have this creativity all together, to be autonomy enough, responsibility, etc., etc. So it's the way Pixar works creating the movie. Everyone is all together. They don't give like, you need to put that special effect, you need to create that special character. All the team is working together to find a solution and to create. And if you are asking yourself if your organization is a product organization, you have to answer these 3 big points. It is if the entire organization, there is no hierarchy or too much processes. If you are working with autonomous teams, and if you're obsessed with your product vision, the user impact. And I mean, I don't care if you have very high velocity on your team and you're just developing very fast, for example. What's important is that at the end of the sprint, we have something for the user at the end. So I can conclude, and I'm quite well known. It's okay for the time. So yes, after having said all that, we realized that product management is a big fight. We've seen a few topics now, but what we can say is you can have access to take ideas from big ones, like I said, Pixar, Spotify. The basic of product management is to constantly readapt and dare to reinvent yourself. And the team and the sharing experience among all are fundamentals it's fundamental for the team to work together and to have this mindset of working together. And you need to nurture that every day with workshops, with teamwork for the product. And don't hesitate to look for some inspiration and answer in any domains you are passionate about. I talked here about the movie industry because I'm passionate about that, but I'm sure you will find some inspiration into sport, into all kind of domains to help you make the best product and make the product right. So may the product be with you.
Thank you a lot, Charline, for this brilliant philosophical way of seeing through movies the product. It was a brilliant way, and some of the analogies I think represent the product management better than any definition we can give technically to them. And I do hope to have you again, or people in your team, digging deeper on the product management side. Thank you a lot. It was Charline Robbe transmitting live from Lyon.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you for your attention. Stay tuned to the Pentabar and the live channel of Pentalog. Will still be every Wednesday with new themes. Stay tuned to find out what. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.